Assalamu alaikum. My name is Muhammad Asad Ali, roll number 1840. The topic I am going to present, that name is characteristic and summary of the novel written by Mrs. Dalloway. The novel name is Virginia Woolf. Introduction of Virginia Woolf. Born Adeline, Virginia, Stephen in 1882 to literary family. Suffered bereavement and mental illness in youth. Member of Bloomsbury Group. Married writer Leonard Woolf, 1912. His works include To the Lighthouse, 1927. Mrs. Dalloway, 1925. Mrs. Dalloway. Woolf originally called the novel The Horse. Novel evolved from two short stories called Mrs. Dalloway of Bond Street and The Prime Minister, often thought to be a response to Joyce's Ulysses. Virginia Woolf famously dismissed Joyce's Ulysses as evoking the image of a quasi undergraduate scratching his pimples, yet proceeds to employ techniques and styles influenced by the same work, most notably in Mrs. Dalloway. Characters: Clarissa Dalloway, protagonist, upper-class society hostess in her 52nd year, married to an MP named Richard. Peter Walsh, Clarissa's old friend. She rejected his marriage proposal in the 1890s and broke his heart. He is in love with married woman in India. Plays with his pocket knife. Sally Seton, old friend of Clarissa, willed and spontaneous Sally kissed Clarissa. Clarissa thinks she was in love with her later marriage, has 5 sons and becomes Lady Rochester. Characters. Continue. Richard Dalloway, Clarissa husband, conservative MP, good but limited man. Septimus Warren Smith, protagonist, war veteran, suffer from shell shock or PTSD. Hallucinate about his comrade Evans. Lucrezia Smith, a Septimus' wife, Italian woman, millionaire, concerned for Septimus, loving but somewhat resentful. High with bread, old friend of Clarissa, has position in British royal household, despised by Peter, and Sally as tall, pompous English gentleman. Dr. Holmes, Septimus' much hated GP. Elizabeth Dalloway, Clarissa and Richard's only child. She is experiencing with radical ideas. Miss Gilman, Elizabeth, a history teacher, Christian and radical, self-pitying and self-righteous. Sir William Bradshaw, famous psychiatrist, recommended country cure for Septimus, bring new office suicide to Clarissa party. Plot summary. The novel narrative in third person, omniscient, but it changes its focus throughout. The narrative begins and ends with Clarissa as it details a day in her life. Clarissa is a seemingly disillusioned socialite whose mood fluctuates. Some moments she seems delighted, at others she seems depressed. Her overall effect suggests suppressed symptoms of depression. Mrs. Dalloway begins with Clarissa's preparatory errand to buy flowers. Unexpected events occur. A car emits an explosive noise and a plane writer in the sky, and inside different reactions in different people. Soon after she returns home, her former lover Peter arrives. The two converse, and it becomes clear that they still have strong feeling for each other. In a moment of shared vulnerability, Peter asks Clarissa if she is happy before Clarissa can answer. Her daughter Elizabeth interprets them. Perspective switch, and the narrative inhabits Septimus Warren Smith a World War I veteran suffering from shell shock, what today would likely be identified as post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD. He is waiting with his wife Lucrezia to see a psychiatrist named Sir William Bradshaw. The reader is informed that Septimus has been suffering greatly since returning from the war, and his suffering the other characters are unable to grasp. Summary. Major conflict. Clarissa and other characters try to preserve their souls and communicate in an oppressive and fragmentary post-World War I England. Rising action. Clarissa spends the day organizing a party that will bring people together, while her double Septimus Warren Smith eventually commits suicide due to the social pressure that oppress his soul. Climax. At the party, Clarissa goes to a small room to contemplate Septimus' suicide. She identifies with him and is glad he did it, believing that he preserved his soul. Following action, Clarissa returns to her party and is viewed from the outside. We do not know whether she will change due to her moment of clarity, but we do not know that she will endure. Conclusion. Mr. Dalloway is a novel of inner consciousness, more so picturing one day in the life of a woman, suggesting all that she could have experienced years before, and contemplating all this should have happened had she been true to herself after becoming a mother. Thank you.